I'm making fig and ginger slice today. And it might not sound actually that exciting, perhaps the title of it, but it is delicious. And it's one of those kind of slices you have cut up in the fridge and you just go and get a piece from, and it's really satisfying. Plus it's a good source of calcium, other than dairy foods and things like that, and simple to make. So let me show you how to do it. What I have done, let me have a look at them, is I've soaked off 12 dried figs. And I've soaked them in water. I just wanted to show you, when you get a dried fig, you get a little kind of hard little nip piece of stalk on the end. So you just nip it off like that. And that's what you do. And then you soak these in just in water for about 10 minutes. And that's what I've done. Like that. And so I'm just going to drain them. And I'm going to pop them in my bowl. There we are. And so that's the fig soaked in water just for 10 minutes. And what I'm going to add to that is I'm going to add 3 tablespoons of some butter. You can add, if you want, some coconut, softened, like warmed coconut oil, something like that, if you're vegan, but I'm adding in 3 and a little bit tablespoons of organic butter here. And what else am I going to add in here? I'm going to add in some nut butter. So this is actually almond butter. I'm adding in about a cup of almond butter. Here we are. You could use actually whatever butter you like. In fact, if you adore peanut butter, you could use it in this slice as well. But do understand that the peanut butter, the flavour's quite strong, so you almost lose the flavour of everything else in this. But peanut butter would work. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to blend this up and make it kind of like a bit of a mush. If you didn't have a stick blender, which is what I'm going to use, then I would suggest you to get a fork and you just get stuck in and mash it up. But a stick blender makes life very, very easy. So here we go. So all I'm doing is mushing up those softened figs. That's what I'm trying to do here. Let's just get those softened up. And a few of the last ones. So figs have actually got quite a good source of calcium, beyond dairy of course, and so that's why I like it. And nuts and seeds generally have calcium in them as well, and this is kind of quite rich with nuts and seeds, which is another reason I like it, because they've got anti-inflammatory oils in them and some protein. So I do like the ingredients in this slice, plus I just love the fact that it tastes so good. All right, let's just get rid of anything on the stick blender. Here we are. So that's what it's done. Let me just make a big noise now. Just make sure I've got all the bits off. Hang on, there's a few bits that are sticking. Let's get them all out. There we go, great. Okay, so I've got this kind of mush, as you can see. Here we go. And I'm gonna add to it now other dimensions and other layers to make this really tasty. I'm adding some fresh ginger. I just adore fresh ginger, not just because of its flavour, but also in the gut it acts as a prebiotic. It acts almost like as an antimicrobial, and its polyphenols are also adored even by our gut bacteria as well as us. So it's a win-win. And I tend to say in the recipe, use a couple of tablespoons of freshly grated ginger. That's up to you, how gingery you like it, but I've got a couple of tablespoons here. I tend to grate my ginger quite coarsely, because actually what I want to do when I eat this slice is I actually want to bite into it and occasionally come across a little piece of ginger in there, so I don't finely grate it. But you could, if you want it just to have a sort of a background general gingery flavour. Okay, and then the other thing I'm adding into this is some other seeds, which are pumpkin seeds, and I like those particularly because they've also got a bit of zinc in, and that's great supporting your immunity and your hormone balance. And then some whole almonds. The raw whole almonds have the skin on them, and the skin is prebiotic. So you see how we put just some fabulous ingredients in there. Now I'm going to mix that all together, get that all into it, all sticking. That's the idea, is you make it really sticky. And the idea of having the butter in there, or the coconut oil if you're using that for that matter, is that goes hard in the fridge, and that's what makes it all kind of solidify up enough so that you can cut it. So that's the purpose of that one in there, because this is a no-bake slice. It's very, very simple to make. So you see how that's come together like that. So what I'm going to do is pop it into a container to let it sit, that I'll then put in the fridge to set it in. Here we go. So I tend to use this square tin, which is about 20 centimetres by 20 centimetres. There we are. And then what I do is I spread it out. If you wanted this slice to go a little bit further and make it, bulk it out slightly, you could use puffed amaranth or puffed buckwheat. They'd be absolutely delicious in here, and you can buy those online or at health food stores. That's really good, and you would just simply mix it in at that point when it was in the bowl. Okay, so that's all absolutely good. I'm packing it down so there's no air gaps and no holes. I'm trying to make it even, sort of. Okay, then what I'm going to do, and this is optional, but I'm actually going to pour a little bit of melted, very, very dark, this is 90% dark chocolate over the top. Now, if you can't tolerate chocolate or dark chocolate, or if it gives you a migraine or something, don't use it. But if you're okay with chocolate, then I think this is just a great little finish, because it's very dark chocolate, you get the very, very slightest amount on your slice, but because it's so strong, you kind of taste buds think you're having something very chocolatey. So I've melted this just in this bowl over some hot water, and I'm going to pour it on top. This is about 120 grams of dark chocolate. And I'm going to pop that on the top. Hang on, just let me get every skerrick last bit of it out. There we go. And because it's nice and warm, it's melting. So you see how you can just tip the container and get the chocolate just to cover the top. It's a really thin coating, but it's very strong, very dark chocolate, which means that you'll get that chocolatey flavour coming through. And I've got a bit of a hump there, I think, in the way I spread it around, because the chocolate's only just managing to get into there. That's it. Oh, pretty well there. All right, and what I'm going to do with that is I'm going to pop it in the fridge to set. It will only set, probably take about an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours to set, and I'll show you later what it looks like. Got the fig and ginger slice out of the fridge now, and I'm going to cut it up and show you what it looks like. Here we go. Here we go, look at that. See that? Lovely. And then I tend to cut it into 1-inch square pieces, a bit like that. Yum. And that's what I might have with a cup of tea.